What do you think his reaction is going to be the first time he sees a man dressed up as a bat?
He's played the Man of Steel in the Superman films, but tonight Christopher Reeve is in a Virginia hospital, paralyzed and unable to breathe on his own.
The funniest ones are where people tell me I look like Superman, but don't realize that I'm playing Superman. Those are fun. And that's most of what's happening at the moment. I don't think I've had too many people actually recognize me. Just like I have for a while, people will randomly be like, you know, you kind of look like Superman. Oh, yeah.
Picture this. The instant James Gunn introduced David Corenswet as his brand new Man of Steel, the internet detonated like a kryptonite bomb. Within hours, the tag #Superman curse shot to the top of trend lists. Timelines flooded with hair-raising montages of cape disasters, and comment sections churned with people swearing the role is haunted.
Well, I think I would look at it like, I see what you're saying. I think that the other thing is kind of like trying to comment something from a different point, to taking, iconic characters or iconic, with genres such as space fantasy with the Guardians. But with this one, taking iconic characters and saying, where can I come at these characters from a different direction than has really been come at from other media?
Some shrug it off as coincidence. Others insist the cape steals more than it gives. Careers, sanity, sometimes even lives. And right now, as cameras roll on the 2025 reboot, a single question crackles louder than a Daily Planet printing press. Will Corenswet break the chain or become the next grim chapter? Stick around, because every twist in this saga lands harder than the last. And by the end, you'll decide whether our newest Kryptonian is poised to soar, or if he's already flirting with a fate he can't outrun. Rewind to 1948, when Broadway song and dance man Kirk Allen first squeezed into the tights for a string of low-budget serials. Kids adored him, Hollywood didn't. The suit fit so tightly that casting agents couldn't unsee it, and offers vanished faster than a speeding bullet. Allen spent the rest of his life ghost-signing souvenir photos at sci-fi conventions to keep the lights on, a living reminder that the cape could be career quicksand. Then came television sensation George Reeves. For 7 seasons, he embodied truth and justice to post-war America, soaring across black and white living rooms with a confident grin. Off-screen, though, Reeves battled typecasting, studio politics, and a secretive Hollywood romance that put him in dangerous circles. In June 1959, he was found in his bedroom with a fatal gunshot wound. Authorities labeled it self-inflicted, yet rumors of mob involvement, jealous lovers, and hush-hush studio cleanups swirl to this day. Fans mark that tragedy as the moment the so-called curse drew its first deep wound. Christopher Reeve seemed destined to shatter that superstition when he rocketed into theaters in 1978. He was tall, classically trained, and carried the optimistic sincerity of the comics straight onto the big screen. 4 blockbusters later, he'd become a global icon. But in May 1995, a routine equestrian competition changed everything. 1 mistimed jump, 2 shattered vertebrae, and Hollywood's golden boy was suddenly paralyzed from the neck down. Reeve refused to surrender, channeling all of Clark Kent's grit into spinal cord advocacy. But each heartbreaking medical update only tightened the myth's strangling grip. When he passed in 2004, the headlines practically wrote themselves. Another Superman felled by the cape. The Hex, believers say, doesn't just stalk the actors in red and blue. It circles their supporting casts like a vulture. Margot Kidder, fearless Lois Lane on screen, vanished for 3 days in the 90s during a manic episode tied to bipolar disorder. Tabloids gobbled up the story and pinned it to the curse. And when she died years later from a self-inflicted overdose, the legend roared back to life. Comedy titan Richard Pryor stole scenes in Superman 3 as a mischievous hacker, but soon after filming, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and spent decades battling the illness. Even baby Kal-El wasn't spared. Lee Quigley, the infant who shared the screen with Marlon Brando, died at 14 after inhalant abuse. Brando himself, though untouchable on screen, endured a string of devastating family tragedies following his cameo as Jor-El. Each new misfortune became another puzzle piece that believers eagerly jammed into their ominous mosaic. You might think a new millennium would bring a clean slate, but the cape kept claiming casualties, this time dreams instead of lives. Brandon Routh looked like Reeve reincarnated, and 2006's Superman Returns was marketed as the franchise's glorious resurrection. Yet one softer-than-expected opening weekend spooked Warner Brothers, and suddenly Routh's sequels were shelved, his momentum evaporating into Hollywood smog. Then came Henry Cavill, brooding, bulletproof, sculpted like a Greek statue. Man of Steel rebooted the saga. Batman v Superman promised a cinematic universe, and audiences geared up for a decade of Cavill-led adventures. Instead, studio shakeups, creative clashes, and a disastrous Justice League cut left DC films in disarray. Cavill's cameo in Black Adam teased his triumphant return, but weeks later, corporate brass announced a younger Superman was on the way. Cavill publicly bowed out, blindsided fans erupted, and curse memes multiplied like gremlins in water. Yet the most chilling examples are the stories we never saw. Tim Burton's extravagant Superman Lives spent millions on pre-production before collapsing under its own weirdness, leaving Nicolas Cage's dream of flight grounded. J.J. Abrams pitched Superman Flyby, dead on arrival. Zack Snyder shot hours of footage for planned sequels, only to watch a studio coup shelve them indefinitely. To curse enthusiasts, even unrealized projects prove the role resists closure. Studios pour fortunes into development, only to watch fate pull the plug at the last minute. With that fraught history as backdrop, production on James Gunn's Superman kicked off in early 2024, and skeptics waited for the other boot to drop. Halfway through filming, a stunt driver reportedly tore knee ligaments in a 140 km/h chase through downtown Cleveland. Insurance premiums spiked overnight, Twitter sleuths dubbed it the first blood sacrifice, and gossip sites plastered Corenswet's anxious face alongside clickbait headlines. Shortly after, a rough teaser leaked online. Critics mocked the unfinished digital composites as AI dough face. Trolls proclaimed it a bad omen, and Warner's PR team found itself playing cosmic whack-a-mole. Every hiccup, no matter how minor, doubled as proof that the hex still lurked in the shadows. Meanwhile, David Corenswet carries the heaviest cape in franchise history, literally. The 40-pound neoprene suit, vacuum-sealed to his freshly bulked 105-kilogram frame, squeezes like medieval armor. The actor quips, he logs dawn-to-dusk gym grinds, gulps protein shakes by the liter, and endures stunt rehearsals that slam him into crash mats till his ribs ache. Paparazzi catch him limping to his car after midnight workouts and speculate about microfractures. Wellness bloggers freeze-frame every set photo, analyzing his posture for hidden injuries. When Corenswet posts horse riding footage, training for a Kansas farm flashback, fans instantly draw parallels to Christopher Reeve's accident, the video racking up millions of doom scroll views. Corenswet shrugs off the noise with a dry smile, but even he admits the mental weight. "I can't pretend the history's not there," he tells reporters. "You just lace up the boots and pray gravity's on your side." Gunn, for his part, takes to social media nearly daily to smack down rumors. No, Corenswet hasn't dislocated a shoulder. Yes, that leak was from an outdated previs. And no, Warner hasn't hired a shaman to bless the set, though he jokes he'd welcome one if union approved. Each denial only heightens the frenzy, because in the age of infinite timelines, a rumor never dies. It mutates into 50 new threads, all screaming for attention. Behind the memes and mockery, cold-eyed accountants quietly pull levers. Warner Brothers Discovery may scoff at curses publicly, yet insiders whisper about disaster clauses longer than the shooting script, extra on-set paramedics, and an 8-figure completion bond that dwarfs earlier films. Risk analysts crunch decades of data and conclude blockbusters with heavy stunt work always carry greater peril, but executives know something spreadsheets can't quantify. A juicy myth sells tickets. Marketing leans in with cryptic posters, legacy can be a heavy burden, and teaser narrations that slyly reference fate. Rumor plus danger equals engagement, and each viral thread becomes free advertising. Skeptics, brandishing statistics like lead shields, argue that 8 decades of franchise history naturally accumulates tragedies. Thousands of artists, stunt performers, and crew rotate through Metropolis. Statistically, accidents and illnesses are inevitable. They point to Dean Cain, Tom Welling, and Tyler Hoechlin, supermen who've enjoyed steady careers and stable lives. Believers counter that the curse isn't about every actor, but the headline tragedies that echo like cannon fire. 2 Reeves harmed, Reeve paralyzed, Kidder lost, careers cratered, projects vaporized. They highlight eerie patterns, horseback calamities, on-set explosions, broken necks, broken deals. Even Bud Collyer, the golden-throated radio Superman, suffered near career-ending vocal damage late in life. Coincidence? The skeptics sneer. Coordinates? Believers insist. Statistical analysis may calm the mind, but legends feast on emotion. The heavier the cape's history grows, the brighter those crimson and cobalt colors glow under theater lights. Audiences don't buy popcorn just to watch punches and heat vision. They come to brush shoulders with myth, to feel the icy thrill that maybe, just maybe, they're witnessing a future tragedy unfold in real time. That paradox, hope wrapped in dread, is Hollywood rocket fuel. And now the clock ticks toward the 11th of July, 2025, premiere day circled in red on every comic fan calendar. Should the film shatter records and Corenswet stride across red carpets unscathed, analysts will call the curse broken. But if the box office wobbles, if the actor reveals a nagging back injury, if executives hint at creative course corrections, hashtags will howl, "Told you so," louder than a sonic boom. The real power of the Superman curse isn't whether it exists, it's how relentlessly we resurrect it. We tweet it, meme it, monetize it, feeding a narrative that thrills us even as it haunts its heroes. And that tension, that razor-thin line between triumph and catastrophe, keeps us glued to every update, every leaked set photo, every cryptic post. So fasten your cape and keep your eyes on the skies, because the next twist in this century-long drama could break at any moment. If destiny really is plotting another tragedy, you'll want front row seats. And if Corenswet shatters the hex once and for all, you'll witness a legend reborn. Either way, the story is far from over. So smash that subscribe button and stay locked in, because we promise the fallout from this saga will be nothing short of super.